Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. This one's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to because myself, along with a ton of other crafty content creators, have banded together to start a challenge. We are going to craft for the curve. You'll be able to find lots of people participating down in the description box below. We're going to be participating on lots of different social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and including bloggers. Basically, it's just a way to help you guys stay home and craft and have a good time during everything that's been going on in the world. So from now, March 25th to April 8th, every day we are going to post a new video that has all kinds of different crafts. You're going to be able to find lots of different crafts from CRICUT or silhouette to paper, beads, jewelry, Play-Doh, slime making, who knows? We're all going to be super creative and do lots of fun things that you guys can do from home to keep yourselves busy. You can find a link of all the creators that are going to be doing this down in the description below. With this challenge, we're also going to be doing a cool giveaway with all of the sponsors also listed in the description box below. All you have to do is simply use hashtag #CraftForTheCurve and post a photo of a craft that you have done using one of our tutorials. You can post them on any of your favorite social media outlets. A winner will be chosen at the end of the 15 days to win an awesome prize pack from all of those cool sponsors down below. So today, to help you guys stay inside and craft for the curve, I'm going to teach you guys how to make a bead lizard keychain. He is super fun and super cute and really easy to do. You only need a few supplies. You will need some sort of string. You could use yarn, but I am using a rubberized strand, and then you'll just need some pony beads. The keychain is extra. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. You can also use yarn to make these if you don't have any of the rubberized string at home, but you can absolutely do these with very few supplies. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make this really super cute lizard. You're only going to need a couple things to do this little bead lizard. You'll need some pony beads, which these are just some random ones I had. You need green for sure. You can do any color you want, but you'll need a color for his eyes, color for his belly, a color for his feet, and then a main body color. So you can usually get away with anywhere from 3 to 4 colors. It just depends on how you want to make it. You will need this rubbery type of lace string, and then a keychain ring. I have a little star-shaped one, but you can use whatever you have. We're first going to fold the lace in half and then string our key ring onto it, and you're just going to take your extra string, so the bottom part of your string, pull it through that loop, and then you just want to pull it nice and tight so that that is what's going to hold your lizard onto your keychain. So you just pull that nice and tight. This is rubbery, so you can totally do that. Now, I probably have way too much string, so I'm going to cut a little bit off the end where it's kind of curled up from where it got a knot in it a while back. So what you're going to do is first start with one side of your string, and you're going to start with one single bead in green. I'm going to loop that on to my string. Then you want to take your other side of your string and loop it through your bead, just like you looped the other one. So now it's kind of sitting on both strings, and then all you need to do is pull both strings through your bead. With this one, because it's still pretty curly, I have to do one at a time, but if you have newer stuff that hasn't been sitting for a long time and isn't super curled up, you should be absolutely fine to just pull them both at the same time. But I have to do it a little bit different because my stuff's a little bit old, so it's been sitting for a while. So once you've done that, this is what you have. You have a bead on your keychain. So now our next row is going to be 2. We are building his little nose right now. So you're going to put 1 bead on and 2 beads on. And you'll do the same thing where you take and you put your string through your beads. So you're going to do it through both beads. And then again, I'm not going to do it that way. I pulled it out. But if you do that, it's okay. Just string it right back through. You're going to pull one strand through and one strand through, and you're going to do that all the way to the beginning. Sometimes you can pull them both, but like right now, it's going to curl a little bit, so I need to work with this and kind of uncurl it. And this may be something that you struggle with, especially if you have some older product like I do that has been sitting for quite some time, and it's been curled for probably 15 years. It's been a while since I've made one of these, but I loved doing these. They were so easy and they were so much fun. that I just loved making them, and I think that you guys will too. And it's a nice like time waster if you're sitting at the, sitting watching TV or whatever. So now we're going to do his face where he has his eyes. So you need to take one black bead, one green bead, and one black bead. And you're going to get those all on your string. And then just with your other part of your string, you're going to loop it through. This is all just a matter of patterning and looping it through. And the more you make these, the better you will get. And you can start making your own patterns. I used to make all kinds of crazy animals. I would do dogs and cats and whales and fish, and I would have the most intricate patterns. So I would love to get back into doing this because these were so relaxing. Now it will sit a little bit funny when you first kind of start doing it. Like you can see mine's kind of bunching up and getting kind of weird. But the more beads you add to it, the less it will kind of bunch up and look kind of weird. And once it kind of relaxes and sits for a while, it'll be fine. Like mine's real tight right now and it's not sitting great. But once we kind of let it sit out, it will be absolutely fine and it will sit just fine. So the next part is rest of his face, which is going to take 4 beads. So you're going to go ahead and take 1 bead and 2 beads. Oops, not drop the beads. 3 and 4. And this is the back of his head. So again, just take your beads, loop them on, and string your string through. Mine's got a little curvature on the end, so I have to keep kind of stringing each bead individually. And then again, you just pull. This is such a fun and easy thing to do. You can absolutely just relax, have a nice time, get your mind off of stuff, and make your little lizard. I love him. I wish he would sit a little nicer so you guys could see how he's forming better. But again, when you have old stuff, there you go. You can see his little head's forming. Isn't that cute? So now we're going to take and do a 3 bead. And we're going to build his neck. So you're going to take 1 bead and loop it on, and 2 beads, and 3 beads. And there's no real right way or wrong way to do this. So if you want to make a big, big lizard, you would just keep adding beads. If you want a little lizard, you could add less beads. It's just kind of personal preference and whatever design you want to make and how creative you want to be. And like I said, you don't have to use these colors. You can use whatever colors you want to. Now, I'm not going to kind of mess with him too much at the top because he's sitting kind of weird. So we're just going to make sure that the loop is tight, and we'll come back and fix this once we kind of get everything settled, because it's just, he's just not really wanting to lay straight, but he will. I promise. Don't worry. So now we go to 2 beads because we're going to do his neck. So we're going to just do 2 beads, and we'll take our string and string it through our beads. And just, again, pull. Now, you can do this with yarn if you wanted to, if you had some yarn at home. You can kind of do this with just about anything that you have at home, as long as it's like a string. I wouldn't do it with thread. It's not going to hold up with thread. But if you have, like, yarn and you're not going to, be too rough on it, you could absolutely do yarn. The reason I use the plastic is because when you're pulling it in and out of places, if you're using it for an actual keychain, you are going to need some structure to it. So now we're going to do his little legs. So we're going to take 3 green beads. And I just need to get his little beads on. You know what? We're actually going to do one more segment of neck. Now that I look at him, I want him to have a second segment of neck. That one had a little piece inside. So now we're going to do a little segment of his neck. We'll do one more. And again, this is where you can kind of mess with it and whatever you want to do. But I think he needs another little piece of neck, so I'm going to do that really quick. I just think his neck might look a little bit short if I tried to cut it right there, so I'm going to give him one more little section of neck. Because when we go to do his little leggies, we actually need that little section of neck. So now that you've got kind of his face, and again, I know it's kind of bunching, and it won't do this if you're using newer stuff, but mine just wants to kind of bunch. But there's like his little face, and then here's his neck. So we're going to go ahead and do his body now, or his legs. So you're going to take 3 green beads, just like this, and then you're going to take 3, whatever color you want to use for his feet. I'm using a blue for his feet, so you're going to take 3 little footy beads, and I'm going to string those all the way down to the bottom. And what you're going to do is take your string and string it through just your green beads. So string it right back through your green beads. So we're just going to string it right through to the green beads. And then we're going to pull all of our beads tight to those 2 beads that we just used. Oops, and I'm knocking my beads around. And when you do that, you'll see, I need to tighten this a little bit, and you can absolutely tighten it as you go. But look, we've got a little foot. Isn't that cool? It's got his little 3 toes and his little leg. And then you'll just do that to the other side. So you'll take 3 green beads, 2 and 3. And then you'll take the 3 blue beads to make his little foot. And again, you can use any color you want. You don't have to do green. You can make a pink lizard if you want. You can make a rainbow lizard if you want. Doesn't matter. There's no wrong way to do these. They are just fun and creative, and I just love them. I think they're just such a good time. So then I'm going to take my little lizardy and again string it right back through. Oops, I got it wrapped around himself. We're going to string it right back through to create a little foot. Now, if your arm does something like this where it's kind of separated, just pull those green beads closer and pull the string again. You can readjust his little foot, and there you go. So now you have your little lizard with his head and his little feet. I think he's coming out super cute. We are ready to move on to his little body now. So we are going to do a 2 bead, and it's just going to be 2 green beads. And this just helps build his body. So 2 green beads, and then we'll do, oops, I got to get him untwisted. If you get a little twisted, please try to untwist, because if you twist him too much, he's not going to work right. And it does help if you're working with them sometimes to like tape them to the table so they don't like slide around. Like, see how he's sliding around. So all I've done is just given the 2 beads, and I've got a little twist going, so I'm going to untwist it real quick. Again, just watch your twists, because sometimes those twists can get in the way. So there is part of his body. So that is the start of his little tiny lizard body. Oops, and then I knocked my beads around. So then we're going to do 3 beads. And this time we're going to make the little middle part of his body. So we have a bead, a green bead, a body bead. So I'm going to call that the white bead. But that's like where I put his little belly. And you can, any color you want, whatever floats your boat. There is no wrong way to make these little guys. You can be super colorful and creative. These make really cool like little stocking stuffers or Easter basket stuffers. They are a lot of fun. They make such easy, like inexpensive gifts. So people love stuff that's homemade, and these are just so fun. And you can add so much to them and make them so much fun and so cute. And if you get a little bit of like a little lag right here where his little arms are, again, you just pull it tight. So now we'll do 4 beads. So we will do a green bead, 2 white beads, and then another green bead. Again, we just loop. This is, once you kind of do this, and there's a ton of patterns online that you can find for all these little guys, you can make so many different things. I have seen Christmas trees, trucks. I'm trying to think. I saw one that was really cool. It had like a name in the middle of it. It was really neat. There's a lot you can do. There are ways to do these with just like single bead looping. I mean, they're just amazing. This is just one of my favorites that I remember doing for years, and it's such an easy one that I wanted to share it with you guys during our craft for the curve here, because I just thought this is something that a lot of people have sitting at home. They may have some extra random pony beads that, you know, from when they were younger and crafting. And so now you're going to do a green bead and 3 white beads followed by a green bead. But yeah, I just thought this would be something that you guys could do. Keep yourselves busy instead of just sitting there watching Netflix, which, I mean, listen, I am all about the Netflix. I love the Netflix. But sometimes you need to do something to stimulate your brain that isn't watching TV. And this is a great way to do it. And like I said, you can kind of start coming up with your own patterns. Get used to making these. Make a couple of the lizards and then get creative. You know, take a look. See what colors you have and then kind of make what you want. One of my favorites when I used to do this, I used to make Christmas trees and I would do the different beads for like ornaments, and it was so fun. We actually still have some of those ones that we've hung on our Christmas tree before. So now that we have most of his belly, you can see where his belly is forming. We are going to form one more line of 3. So we're going to take a green bead, and we're going to take 3 white beads. And this will be the middle of his tummy. So we've got kind of the middle going here. And I may need to pull out a few more beads because I think I did not count my beads correctly. But I will try to do it. Oops. And I totally forgot one of my green beads. See, this is what happens when you're talking and you're trying to do things. So you need 1 green bead, 3 whites, and then another green. This is all just a big pattern. It's just patterning. It's super easy. You guys, this is so much fun. I love doing this stuff. So again, I'm just looping both of them through. My beads kind of fell. You remember those toys they had when you were kids that were like little beads on the track? Sometimes that's what this feels like because it likes to roll down the string. And as you get further in, you have less string to work with, so it's far less annoying. The beginning of it can be a little tedious because you do tend to have quite a bit of like the extra string. So this is what we've got so far. Again, his head is just a little bit funky, but I think it's just because our string is kind of old, and so I'll pull it out a little bit so you can see. But look, there he is. Isn't he fun? So again, we'll just retighten that because I loosened it. So now we need to do the rest of his body. So we're going to do 1 bead, 1 green bead, 2 white beads, and a green bead. And then we are going to take and put all of our string again through each of the beads. And then you're just going to, again, pull them tight. Now I need to tighten this one up here a little bit. This one side is a little loose, so I'm just going to go ahead and tighten that up. And you can really see him forming. I need to grab 1 more white bead because I am apparently short a bead. Again, sometimes counting, not always my strong suit. So I'm going to grab 1 more white bead. We might need a few more green, but I'm going to see if we can get through with just what we have. So we have 1 green, 1 white, and 1 green. Again, this is easier too if you can hold the front half of your lizard to something. I recall I used to hold them like in my lap. I would do that to help, but them sliding around the table, not always the easiest. But if you can tape it down, absolutely do that. I didn't want to tape him because I didn't want to have to try to move him around too much for the video when I needed to show you guys different things. So here is the lizard so far, his little belly. So his belly is done. Now we get to add his little legs. So we're going to do 2 beads real quick. And these are just going to be the base for where his legs sit. So we're going to go through here and go through here again. Oops. And pull those tight. And then remember how we did the legs at the top? We're going to do the legs exactly the same way here at the base. So you're going to take 3 green beads. 1, 2, 3. And you can let these ones fall all the way to the bottom. It doesn't matter. And we're going to take, oops, not throw. We're going to take 3 blue beads because these are, again, his little feet. And take the 3 blue beads and loop those bad boys on. So now you have a line. And remember, you're going to take your string, the same string you looped those on, and loop them just through your green beads down here at the bottom. So we've looped those through. I'm going to pull this a little bit tighter, and then I'm going to pull my green beads towards my lizard. Pull this a little tighter again. You want to make sure that these are sitting pretty tight against where you have the rest of your beads. And then you just kind of manipulate your little foot so that it is even. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So now we'll do the other side, which we are going to take, again, 3 green. I'm going to let those fall, and I'm going to do 3 blue. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to need some more green beads, but don't worry. We have plenty. And then again, just right through this green set. Pull those right through. Again, we want to tighten the bottom up so that it is touching the other set of beads. You just want your legs nice and tight on there. And there are his little legs. So now what we're going to do is make him a tail. I'm going to need a couple more green beads. I don't want a super long tail. I kind of I'm not a big fan of a long tail, but all you have to do to make a tail, and it's so easy, is take one bead and do the same thing where you loop it through, and you're only going to do one bead on this loop. So just one bead, loop it through, pull it nice and tight. And if you don't like the look of that, because I'm not actually liking that, I'm going to add a bead because I think it's going to sit a little bit funny with one bead. So sometimes as you're making, you'll see where it's going to sit a little bit weird, and that one I'm going to put 2 on just to give him a little more of his butt, because otherwise he's just legs to tail. So let's give him a little tush. We'll give him a little tushy. So here's the little tush. I think that will sit a little bit nicer with his legs. Yes, that works much, much better with his little legs. Okay, now we can build our tail, which again is just one bead and then tighten, one bead and tighten, and it's so easy. And this is like, I should have done these in like rainbow. A rainbow tail would have been way fun. And you can make your tail as long or as short as you want. Super easy to do, guys. And like I said, this is a great craft for just sitting mindlessly, staring at nothing. This is a way to really kind of keep your brain engaged. I know it's really hard to stay at home. I've been at home by my lonesome. All I've seen is my husband 4 days, and don't get me wrong, I love him. He's my favorite person, but not seeing another human face in days, it's hard. I get it. All I've done is craft and work and cook. That's my life lately, and watch TV in the evening. I'm trying very hard to keep busy with crafts, so I thought this was a great opportunity that was brought to my attention. I was invited to join, and I'm so excited to be a part of this, so I'm really pumped. And then this is our last little bead. Again, you can add more beads. I've done actually some where I'm going to show you something really fun. So I have a bunch of pony beads. Like, I have millions. So I have these really fun ones, and I'm going to use one to show you something. So I have these really fun star shapes. So let's put like a star on his tail. Why not, right? Who's gonna tell us no? Nobody. So if you have fun shapes, you can absolutely like end it with like a fun shape. So I'm gonna end mine with like a fun star shape. Why not? There we go. All right. We just need to manipulate the star just a little bit because it is gonna sit a little funny on him. And then to finish off, you just tie a couple of knots. You're always going to have kind of a weird bottom just because you have to tie some knots, but it's fine. Don't worry. You just want to tie some nice tight knots, and you can cut off the little extra end. Now this is stretchy, so that's partially like you got to be careful. Don't like pull it too tight, but pull it tight enough that you feel a little bit of give in the string. And I always like to knot it like several times because I'm a psycho about that. I really like to make sure my stuff is secure. I'm going to cut off some of the extra. I'm going to leave a little bit hanging. And look, how fun is he? Is he not the cutest little thing you've ever seen? And look at his little star tail. Why not, right? I absolutely love making these guys. They're so fun. They're so easy. And you can be really, really creative with them. You can use lots of different colors. You can make all sorts of other animals. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to use the hashtag #CraftForTheCurve to be entered to win the giveaway. If you guys make this little guy, please post him and tag me. I would love to see your little creations of your bead lizards. I hope you guys had so much fun crafting with me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting.